All right.
Om Namo Loe Sarvatrika Varti Aryantanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrika Varti Siddhanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrika Varti Ayaryanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrika Varti Uvajjayanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrika Varti Savanam. Omkaram Bindu Sanyuktam Nityam Dhayanti Yoginam Kamadam Moksadam Chaiva Omkaraya Namo Namah. Namah Samaysaraya Swanubhutya Chakasate Chit Sabhavaya Bhavaya Sarva Bhavantarachide Agnanatimirandhanam Gnana Anjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah Tirthankaro Jagatana Jayavantavarto Omkaranada Jinano Jayavantavarto Jinana Samo Sarana Jayavantavarto Netirthachara Jagama Jayavantavarto Namo Tirthanayakane Namo Omkaranadane Omkara Sangaryotene Namote Sri Kunda Kundane Upakara Jinavarano Kundano Dvani Divyano Jina Kunda Dvaniyapya Aho Te Guru Kanano Aho Bhagavati Matano Dhruva Achalane Anupamagati Pamela Sarve Siddhane Vande Kaho Sutta Kevali Bhasita Asamaya Prabhrata Are Om Eka Suddha Sada Arupi Jnana Darasanamay Khare Kai Anyate Maru Jari Paramanu Matra Nathiyare जम नेत्र ते मज ज्ञान नथि कारक नथि वेदक अरे जाने जकर मोदय निरजरा बंदते मज मोक्षने ओम नमः सिद्धेभ्यो ओम नमः सिद्धेभ्यो ओम श्री सुधात्माने नमः Jai Jinendra. Today is a Wednesday, 13th March 2019, and we are continuing our discussion on Samaysar stanza number 14. We have the essence part of the stanza 14 that we have gone through it, and this is kind of further explanation part that Acharya Dev is writing. Mainly, Samaysar was written 2000 years back. These original stanzas, 415 stanzas, were written by Acharya Kundukun, Acharya Dev 2000 years back, and he had gone with his own physical body to Mahavidya Kshetra, which is a very far away area. Normal human cannot go, but he is the monk, and he had those extraordinary capacities, and so he was able to go through the space to that area where Simandar Swami is at present residing, and he is a Tirthankar Bhagwan, and he stayed for 8 days. He listened to the Tirthankar Bhagwan's omniscience discourses and divine sound, and then he came back to our area, which is Bharat Kshetra, and he wrote down this Samaysar. So basically, Samaysar is being said to be coming directly from Omniscience Lord through the medium of Kunkun Acharya Dev. And after 1000 years of Kunkun Acharya Dev, Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev came, and he wrote down critiques on this stanza so that we can understand. But it was in a very high level Sanskrit in the 10th century, when Hinduism was going so strong. To have Jainism survive, something has to be extremely strong, and that is Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev, who wrote down critics in Sanskrit in the prose. This Sanskrit critics actually not only during amongst the Jain, but amongst other scholars, non-Jain scholar also, they say it's one of the best critics available in Sanskrit language right now. So it's one of the best critics that we are studying. Now, if you have time and energy and interest, and then you can also learn Sanskrit, and then you can understand how intellectually super this Amritchandra Acharya Dev was there. He will write down whole the critics of the whole stanza, and it could be a whole paragraph, and the full stop will come at the end of the whole huge paragraph. That was that kind of a literary capacity he had, control he had on the Sanskrit and everything. So that's Sanskrit that we talked about. So critics are written by Amritchandra Acharya Dev and Kanji Swami. Last century, we were extremely fortunate that 45 years he gave discourses on this Samaysar. He gave total 19 times discourses on Samaysar, and some of those work that it is available in the form of audio recording that we have available today, and we learn all these things. So we are absolutely fortunate to learn all these things. So here we are. So having said, having given that introductory thing, and that's mainly for Shailin and Niharika. As I said, Shailin is my older brother's grandson who got married in December in Muscat. He works in Toronto, and his wife is Niharika, and we had gone for the marriage, and we had really a great experience. This is on the personal note. So if on our other members, those who don't know, now they know who Shailin is, that he is becoming not a regular feature on our scripture Swadhay on Tuesday and Wednesday. Anyway, so now without further delay, I'll bring the slide from where we got left out last time, and here they are. So Acharya Dev and Gurudev Sri also gave little hint to us about concentration, about so-called meditation. Meditation is a kind of a word. In English, it has been so diluted that anybody can do meditation, everything, but that's not true. We have to understand really what meditation means. So we should try to go through it and understand what it is. So let's see. So it's called Dyän, or mainly it's called concentration. The meditation word in English language is just like that yoga. Word yoga is really, I mean, just like if you want to just breathing in and out or stretching your body here and there, and that's called I'm doing yoga. That's not yoga real word. Yoga means it is the action of mind, speech, and action of a bodily action, and that too is not a complete one. Actually, soul has an innumerable space point. Innumerable means beyond million, billion, trillion, quadrillion, whatever number, that's called uncountable number. And that many space points are present in the soul. And those space points, when they have the vibratory activity, that is in actuality called yoga. And because of this yoga occurring in the in a soul's space point, from there from vibratory activity of the space point of the soul acting as instrumental cause, and then outside on matter the activity is seen, that is a activity of the mind, speech, and action. So if I think something, that is because of a vibratory activity of the space point of the soul. If I'm thinking something, if I'm talking something, if I'm acting something, these are the actions because of the soul's space point having vibratory activity acting as instrumental cause, and that is called yoga. Similarly, this word meditation or Dyän, we should try to understand what it is and how it is. So let's try to bring current slide. Okay. So concentration or Dyän means there are 4 types that are described. One is called Arthra Dyän. Arthra Dyän means concentration on pain and suffering. Let's presume that one person has a headache right now. Now you go and talk to him for something. He has no interest. His all this action, all this bodily attention is directed to the headache only. I have severe headache, please get out. Give me a peace. He doesn't want to hear anything. He doesn't want to hear about business. He doesn't want to hear about how. He does not want to hear about any relationship, nothing. His concentration is on the headache only. So that is called Arthra Dyän. Concentration on pain and suffering. That's the first part of the concentration. What does it? So that Arthra Dyän is reason for my transmigration. I have concentration on pain and suffering, and that's why it is reason for my transmigration, and it's present from 1st to 6th Gunsthanak, spiritual development state. Soul is on the lowest stratum right now. Us as a mundane soul are on the lowest stratum in intellect-wise. And then once we realize our soul, then we go to 4th spiritual development state. Then we progress to 5th, 6th, and 7th. And from 7th, one can go to the 12th Gunsthanak, 8, 9, 10, 11, 8, 9, 10, 11, or 8, 9, 10, 12. And from 12, he goes to 13, which is called omniscient state. From there, up after finishing 14, the soul goes for liberation state called Siddha. So, up to 1st to 6th Gunsthanak, 1st to 6th spiritual development state, this Arthra Dyän is present. We'll finish this slide and then we'll go one at a time. The other thing is called Raudra Dyän, concentration on cruelty and violence. I did some sort of cruelty and I'm very engrossed about that cruelty. I become happy about that cruelty that I perform. And that is called Raudra Dyän. So concentration, cruelty and violence, and that is also bad kind of concentration. And again, it's reason for transmigration. And it is present from 1 to 5th spiritual development state. First spiritual development state is a wrong faith that we all are transmigratory souls are in. From here, one jumps to the 4th spiritual development state, which is called Samyak Darshan, or right faith, or soul's self-realization. And from there, progression occurs to 5th space state, 6th and 7th stage, and so on and so forth. So Raudra Dyän, concentration, cruelty and violence is present up to 5th spiritual development state, reason for transmigration. Then comes Dharma Dyän, concentration on righteousness or concentration of religious matter. I concentration on what is right thing for me to do, to go within myself and to get engrossed within. So that's called Dharma Dyän, and that is, it's a reason for my liberation, because I'm on the path to liberation. And it occurs from 4th to 6th spiritual development state. Actually 4 to 7. When we say 6 and 7 are basically together. I'll explain to you what it means. A monk, and let's take Acharya Kundukuna Acharya Dev or Acharya Amritchandra Acharya Dev. They are the naked saint, and they have so much purification within that they have given all the attachment, physical attachment of this worldly being, all those things they have given up. Only the thing, the physical body, they cannot give it up. So they have physical body, but no other possessions of any kind. They're purely naked saint. And they're engrossed within. And that is called a spiritual, sixth and seventh spiritual development state. In the seventh spiritual development state, the monk, this highly knowledgeable monk who has realization of the soul, he is on the seventh spiritual development state. He's engrossed within. He's engrossed within. And he cannot stay there for a long time, so he comes out. When he comes out, that means he just becomes involved with a worldly activity. For example, he has few of his disciples were staying with him, and those disciples have a question, so this monk will answer this question, etc. Monk will say, okay, I'm going to write the scripture right now from my understanding, from my self-realization. Or monk will say, you know, my stomach is bothering and it just does not let me remain in my concentration stage in a seventh spiritual development state. So let me go and eat some, let me go and get some food and get this hunger away, so that it does not bother me. So this kind of worldly activity monk will follow. That's called sixth spiritual development state. And here he is there for less than 48 minutes, means short time. And then again he goes back in experiencing phase, seventh spiritual state. Then again he comes out, sixth spiritual state. Then again he goes back in, and going in and out of sixth and seventh, that is called monk state. And at that time, if the monk gets engrossed within himself for 48 minutes non-stop, then right away he'll go to 12th spiritual development state, and then 13, which is called omniscient state. And from there he'll get liberation. So Mahavir, monk Mahavir, when he was in sixth and seventh spiritual state, then to get engrossed in the seventh state, he cannot get engrossed for long enough. Then he comes back, and again he goes in, again he comes out, again he goes in, and each time he goes in, he stays somewhat extra time. And ultimately, when Mahavir, monk Mahavir, stayed in his real nature of the self for 48 minutes non-stop engrossment, he went to 12th and 13th spiritual development state, and he is called now Lord Mahavir from monk Mahavir. So up to 4 to 7 spiritual development state, Dharma Dyän is perceived. Concentration on righteousness is perceived. Ultimately, it's a reason for liberation. And our last part comes, is called Sukla Dyän, pure form of concentration. This is the ultimate, this is called ultimate, and that is also reason for liberation, and that is present from 8 to 14 spiritual development state. So, 4 types of concentration, Arthra and Raudra, they are the reason for transmigration. Dharma and Sukla, they are reason for liberation. So this is what is called so-called concentration, or is called meditation, or is called Dyän. Dyän is also important. Why it's important? Because when we talk about 12 type of austerities, 12 type of austerity means 12 types of tap. 6 are external and 6 are internal. Fasting and limitation of accepting the food and giving up the taste of the food and all kind of things are called external austerity. And then there are internal austerity, and those internal austerity is purification of the soul, and constant Dyän comes there. Then comes the Vyutsarg. Vyutsarg means now the monk is giving up with his all inclination of attachment and aversion completely. So that is called Vyutsarg. And then ultimately he will go to the meditative state, which is ultimately take him to the seven spiritual development state to all the way to 14. So these are very important things that we have to learn, and these are the things we come across in our life when we are just going through. So now this is in Sedona, and this is when one of my friend came, and we went there, and we had this taken this picture, so-called Dyän meditation. So meditation or concentration, there are four types: painful concentration, artra dhyan; violent concentration, raudra dhyan; righteous concentration, dharma dhyan; and supreme concentration, sukla dhyan. So these are the four types of concentration that we go through, and out of which concentration in a kind of a painful concentration, artra dhyan. There are four subdivisions of artra dhyan. What are the subdivisions? Separation from desired thing, ishta viyog. I like something. This is my life. This is a thing. I love it. And now I lost this book. It is called by the way, it's called painful concentration. I have my complete health with me right now, and now suddenly my health went out and something else came up. Disease came up. Then I'm upset about it. I'm concentrating on it. Why me? Why me? Why me? And that kind of concentration. Istaviyog, separation from desired thing. If I end up losing money in the whatever outfit, maybe Wall Street, or maybe in a land deal, or maybe somebody took money away, I constantly thrive on that and worry about it, and that's called painful concentration, separation from desired thing. Other one, to obtain undesirable thing. I went to the doctor and he said, you have a cancer. I don't want cancer. How can I get a cancer? And I have the painful concentration about this undesirable thing that I got it. I got a severe debt because of my partner screwed up, for example. It's a painful concentration on my part occurs. The third one is a physical pain. I have a Vedana Janya, means I have a let's simple thing like headache, we can take it. When there's a headache going on and there's a good TV show come, I don't care about it. I don't want to see about it. Please take your meals right now. Mother says or wife says, oh, I hate it. I don't want it because I have a headache right now. So my physical pain gives me painful concentration. And last thing, desire for future pleasure, in the sense, listen, you should do a good job in this life. If you do a good job in this life, if you do austerity in this life, if you give lots of donation in this life, if you keep on going to temple regularly, if you do the worshipping and prayer regularly, then you will get a future life as a heavenly soul. So I do all those things keeping in mind the fruition of my labor, fruition of my work. I work because I want to get a good fruition, quote unquote good fruition. I was just at one of my friend's place. He has a terminal cancer and lots of medical problem and everything. His brain is working so good. He does not have much of the religious background. So how can I ask him to do something religiously? So I had to give him some kind of a thing in which he can possibly concentrate on himself. Besides Namoka Mantra, he doesn't know much of the things, for example, So what I had to do, I have to give him the fear that, listen, if at the time of death, at the last time of the last part of the life when person is dying, and if he has a, if he does not have quiet mind, then he may go to hell. Do you want to go to hell? No way, sir, no way. Tell me, what can I do? I said, do Namuka mantra. Stop worrying about all the things around and everything. Now, is it right? Not right. But for that person, it is okay right now because he has nothing else to hang on to. If you're not showing that kind of thing to him, he will just go down in misery. First time I met him last week, and I said, what do you do? Well, I have a problem breathing. Sometimes I have to carry oxygen and everything, but I do the stock market. What is the stock market? Are you dying? You are dying right now. Do some religious activity. Kirit, tell me, what shall I do? So I had to tell him, do Namoka mantra, something like that. So I asked him to do something with a future pleasure, and that is also called painful concentration. It's not the right advice at this point. I mean, at this point, it appears to be right advice for that particular patient, but right thing will be get engrossed within yourself. He understands that part. He's an intelligent guy. He will follow that one. Next day when I go again, and I'll tell him a little bit more about whatever. So, the basic thing, painful concentration, and that is the reason for transmigration. Do I want to go in transmigration again? I'm in the human life, and this human life is a rarity. Yes.
In your definition of Nidan,
yeah,
you wrote pleasure. Is that like Vastavik pleasure?
No, desire means you do some kind of religious activity with the idea of getting fruition to go to the better gati, means to go to Dev gati.
All right, so let me. I just want to clarify here. All right, so you're talking about Artha Dyän here.
Yes.
And I guess this Nidan is a subset of Artha Dyän. Yes. And what you're saying is that the Nidan is the desire for future, some sort of payoff or some sort of future benefit. Yes. Now, I'm doing Swadhay. So then the correct reason to do Swadhyay is not for any future benefit. It's just to know yourself. Correct?
You are.
So if I'm doing Swadhyay, listen, if I'm doing Swadhyay so that I can understand this material better, so that ... that's Nidan. But if I'm doing this Swadhyay so I can know myself better, that's real Abhyanta Swadhyay, correct?
See, because when you are doing Swadhyay, you are getting immediate result, your peace of mind. Number one. Second thing, you are getting understanding of the nature of the soul.
I know, but by this definition of Artha Dyän, there's also Artha Dyän. Yeah. Like I'm also doing this Swadhyay so that I know more, so that I can understand more, so that I can apply it to my life. There's an element of Artha Dyän there too, correct?
Now remember, desire means the thing which you don't have it and you want it. That's desire. But when you do Swadhyay, and when you say that I would like to know myself better, means you are already there. Your soul, eternal soul, is pure. Only the thing you have to bring your attention there. This is your own. There is no desire. This is called contemplation. This is called bhavana. Means you have things and you are wishing, quote unquote, again, this is a lack of better word. So you are, quote unquote, wishing to go within. This is, you want to obtain your own thing. I have my house, I want house, but you already have house. I want car, but you already have a car. So you are not desiring your own car when you have it. So when you are doing Swadhyay, when you are, your aim to do the Swadhyay is to know yourself better. It's not a desire. It's not the thing which is going to come from outside thing to within you. You already know yourself. Your self is there. Only thing.
So it seems to be that all we do on a daily basis is Artha Dhyan, Roha Dhyan. Now, if you look at, you've separated 4 aspects of Artha Dhyan here in this slide.
Yes.
It seems to me that the red box is the only, and I use this word very loosely and carefully, is the only positive aspect of Artha Dhyan. In other words, pleasant aspect of Artha Dhyan. So my question is, whatever, again, and I'm using this word in a very lokic sort of way,
yes.
Whatever happiness we experience I eat a slice of pizza, I'm happy because I ate that slice of pizza. Is that Artha Dhyan? Is that Nidan?
Well, yes, you can say, or you can just also say, yeah, that's called Nidan also, because I want to have pizza and I got it. Or, let's say that there is a young child is there. The mother says, you do this, and this, and I will give you treat in the evening. So whole day, the child is concentrating on completing the certain thing, so that he or she will get some reward at the end of the day. That is a desire for future pleasure. But when you are doing Swadhyay, that is not about desire for future pleasure. But can you just say that doing Swadhyay is not part of the Artha Dhyan, for example? Well, till you have Samyak Darshan, your concentration is always either painful or that of violent concentration.
This is also Artha Dhyan.
Yes.
Right now, it's also Artha Dhyan.
Yeah. You can just you can just say the degree of it, and you put the right word. This is a kind of positive form of Artha Dhyan. That word that you use, you can put that word over here. Yes, you can, because okay. It is present in the Mithyatva Gunsthana.
Okay.
So now, and you raise a very nice point. So I'm doing Swadhyay, and that person is not doing it. When I went to that sick person, he has never done Swadhyay. He's not doing so he's bad. He's not doing good. And I am doing very good. I'm doing Swadhyay. Well, you are in the first Gunsthana. So if he doesn't do or you are doing, doesn't mean anything. Your wrong belief means wrong belief means wrong belief. So your concentration will be called Artha Dhyan, no matter what.
So then, Kirit uncle, can we take we can take 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 6 o'clock and call that Ashubh Bhav, and we can take 9 o'clock and call it Shubh Bhav, correct?
Yes, you can say that. Yes, you are right. Yeah. Yep.
So Shubh Bhav and Ashubh Bhav is ultimately Artha Dhyan.
Artha Dhyan. And remember, Shubh and Ashubh are Artha Dhyan all the way up to 6 Gunsthana. Up to 6 Gunsthana. So Shubh Bhav is also present in 4th Gunsthana. Shubh Bhav is present in the 5th Gunsthana. Shubh Bhav to the monk is also present in 6th Gunsthana. And they all ultimately are called Artha Dhyan.
Well, Kirit, don't they also exist in 4, 5, and 6 when they're not in their souls?
What is it? 4, 5, 6? Yeah.
So when you're not inside your soul.
Yeah.
In Gunstan 4, aren't you still doing Artha Dhyan?
Oh yeah, because remember, Shubh and Ashubh Bhav, auspicious and inauspicious inclination keeps on occurring up to the 10th Gunsthana, to be exact. In first Gunsthana is an intense form, means inclination of attachment, inclination of aversion. I like these things. I like these things. I don't like these things, for example. So like and dislike, but I hate this thing because this is mine, but I don't like it. So when I put ownership, that's called mithyatva. But without mithyatva also, I can have rag dvesh. The 4th Gunsthanak person, 5th Gunsthanak person, even monk also can be seen getting angry, for example. But why he or she becomes angry, 4th, 5th, and 6th is Gunsthanak? they know that anger is not their real nature. Because of their weakness, they are joining in that quote unquote angry state, or quote unquote inclination of attachment and aversion state. So they already know they should not do it, but it is getting done because of their own weakness. In our case, we even don't know that that's my weakness. To become anger, it's my strength. I'm just saying, well, I'm running the office, I have to show my anger so that girls can work. I mean, that kind of, I have no idea that this getting angry is my, it's against my nature. So first Gunthanak, I do anger, deceit, ego, greed. And fourth and fifth and sixth Gunthanak, anger, deceit, ego, greed are there, but they are extremely milder form. In the first Gunsthanak, they have 100% intensity, and at fourth, fifth, and sixth Gunsthanak, they may have 1 or 2% intensity. So that's what the difference occurs, you know.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's a really a good discussion on Arthra Dhyan, that we have at least better understanding right now. That yes, Shubh Bhav means auspicious inclination is also Arthra Dhyan, and of course, inauspicious inclination means Ashubh Bhav also is a Arthra Dhyan that we know now. Okay. So having said that part, painful concentration remaining up to 6 Gunsthanak, then we can just go to the next slide, which will be violent concentration. Means feel happy with violence, Hinsa Nandi, feel happy with lying, Mrusha Nandi, feel happy with stealing, Chaurya Nandi, feel happy with material possession, Parigraha Nandi. So I do this kind of I do violence, lying, stealing, and having possession or greed, and getting happy about it. I'm the greatest of the great because I'm the most successful person in my town. One time we had one guy in this town, and he was quote unquote fairly materially rich. And at the time, town was kind of, Indian community was kind of small, and one Patel guy had kept the party at his place on a Saturday evening, and he had decided 3 months advance. He called everybody, and it was time was coming, and this guy, quote unquote rich guy, he wanted to do the party at the same time. So he goes to that Patel guy and says, "Hey, cancel your party." The guy says, "Why?" "Because I want to do the party." "Who cares? Your money is with you. I don't care with your money." So means some people are so arrogant and they become happy about their arrogancy. That is called violent concentration. So you feel you kill somebody and you just feel happy about it. You lie something, you feel happy lying, you feel happy stealing, and happy with possession. That's called violent concentration. And this remains up to 5th Gunsthanak. So again, these are the bad things, should be removed, and our idea is I do not want to get stuck with this kind of things. Now that I'm on the 4th spiritual development state and progressing further, so righteous concentration, Dharma Dhyan. Dharma Dhyan means respecting teaching of the scripture, Agya Vichay. The scriptures are showing something and I have respect about it. Even I don't understand, but I have respect about it because Omniscient Lord has said without any intention, bad or good intention behind, and what he has showed is always the right thing. And
how is this, excuse me, Kirit, how is Vichai different from Vinay?
I'm sorry?
How is Vichai different from Vinay? Because I know one of, Vinay.
We can say that Vichai means actually, Vichai's word is used in the relation to the Dhyan. Means the knowledge aspect, you know, knowledge aspect that I have, I'm respecting you from my knowledge perspective. Vinay means to give respect also. So if you want to use both word, but vichai is mainly from concentration perspective. That word will be used over here, you know. So if you want to stretch your thinking about it, you can say, yeah, you can keep vinay also, respect also. Vinay means agya, vinay towards your
Because Vinay is another Abhyantara Tap, correct?
yeah, vinay is another Abhyantara Tap. Yes,
it's separate. That's what I mean. I don't think this. I've never heard this word vichai before. That's why I'm just asking the question.
Yeah, this vichai will be only coming in Dharma Dhyan here. 4 vichai will be coming. So respecting teaching of the scripture, concentration on worldly trouble. Well, why should the whole world should suffer for all this thing? Well, some crazy politician is there. Why whole community should suffer? So those kind of concentration is called concentration on worldly trouble, apai vichai. Then comes concentration of karmic fruition. Well, if certain karma are bonded, then they'll come in fruition. Then they can give this kind of fruition, and those kind of things means to think about from the Karnanu Yoga perspective, from a karma perspective, concentrating on that thing. That is called Vipak Vichai. And last one is concentration of different dimensions of the universe. That what is the one second. Concentrate on different dimensions of the universe. That what is the upper world made up of? What's the middle world made up of? What's the lower world made up of? What's the dimensions of the this and that and everything? So these are the concentrations the soul is doing when he has a 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th gunsthanak. Of course, 7th gunsthanak, he's in the experiencing phase. So 4th, 5th, and 6th gunsthanak, when he's not in the experiencing phase, when he's out of the experiencing phase, he has a conviction about his eternal soul substance inside. But he has now inauspicious and auspicious inclination. So to stay away from the inauspicious inclination, he will start remaining in this type of auspicious thinking process. So that's what the soul will try to do when he's in 4th, 5th, and 6th spiritual state, when he's out of the experiencing phase. When I am inside experiencing right now myself, then I'm away from my alien objects of the universe. There are no thoughts about it. When I'm in a 5th spiritual state, I'm also getting engrossed within, then I'm away from the alien manifestations, away from them. When I'm in 6th spiritual state, same thing happens. But when I'm outside the experiencing phase, then my asthirta means instability nature will kick in, and at the time I can have a negative and positive thoughts. To stay away from the negative thoughts, I can start thinking this positive thought. That's called righteous concentration. So that's a third type of concentration occurred. And again, concentration occurs 4th, 5th, and 6th spiritual development state. Then comes supreme concentration. Supreme concentration means now the soul is engrossed within, from 7th spiritual state to 8 to 9 to 10, 11, or 8 to 9 to 10 to 12. The 2 different ladder that soul will be climbing. Suppression ladder or annihilation ladder. Suppression ladder means whatever karma is present, they are getting suppressed, and soul keeps on going upward. So 7 to 8, 9, 10, and 11 spiritual development state, and that's the end. Then he will fall down again, because it was a suppression ladder. In annihilation ladder, so soul will go from 7 to 8 to 9 to 12, and 9 to 10 to 12. And yes.
Does the Kshatriya Shreni or Upsham Shreni, do they have less do they have less Arthadan, Rodrajan, and more Dharmadhan, Shukladan than a regular garden variety?
No. Because remember, Arthra and Raudra, they are getting away by 6 spiritual development states. They are going away. Then Arthra, Raudra, from 1 to 5 or 1 to 6. The Dharma Dhyan, 4, 5, and 6, when soul is not in the experiencing phase. Now, 7, later part of the 7th, and 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way 13 and 14 spiritual development. So soul is engrossed within. He has no reflective thought process at all.
Okay, so Chapak Shreni will start at what? At 7?
I'm sorry, Chapak Shreni what?
Where does Chapak Shreni start?
Yeah, a later part of the 7th Gunsthanak. See, 7th Gunsthanak is divided into 2 parts. First part and second part. In first part, the soul from 7 goes to 6, from 6 to 7, 7 to 6, 6 to 7. So this is the first half of the 7th Gunsthanak. This kind of process keeps on going thousands and thousands of times during a day. Later part of the 7th Gunsthanak, now soul is preparing for self to go either to ascending ladder, which is a separation ladder, or annihilation ladder. So later part of the 7th onwards, 8, 9, 10, 11, this is a separation ladder. 8, 9, 10, 12 is an annihilation ladder. So it's a soul keeps on progressing, and at that time, soul is engrossed within. There is no reflective thoughts of any kind at all.
If you have a Kshaik Samyak Drashti who's in the 4th or 5th Gunstan, Kshaik Samyak Drashti have less Arthadam and Rodadam than a Kshayak Samyak Drashti?
No, Samyak Darshan is Samyak Darshan, and they have very big. Remember, in the first Gunsthana, your Arthra and Rodra Dhyan is extremely intense. And again, if you just put the numbers, I mean, here rough numbers just for our understanding. If you was 100 units for Arthra Dhyan and Rodra Dhyan in the first Gunsthana that we are in, then at the 4th, 5th, and 6th, their intensity is less than 1 unit. It's very minimal because my ownership on the object is gone now. It's only my weakness remains that I get stick to this rag and dvesh in 4th, 5th, and 6th spiritual development state. So in first Gunsthana, it's 100 units of intensity, and 4th, 5th, and 6th, it's a very minimal, less than 1 unit of intensity remaining. But there, it's there. So 2 ways to look at it. Now that you raised the question, now Gnani ne karma bandhan nathi. The enlightened person does not bind karma. That has been said from absolute perspective. Absolute perspective means from concentration, that my attention has to be focused on the eternal soul, and my attention is focused there. And when I'm doing it there, that means at 4th spiritual development state, my major karma bondage, anantanu bandi krodh man maya lobh, means infinite bondage of anger, deceit, ego, greed, karma is gone on a 4th spiritual development state. And that's an intense one. Majority of the intensity is gone at the 4th spiritual development state. So when I'm in the 4th stage, I have rag, dvesh, apratyakani, pratyakani, sanvaran, rag, krodh, man, maya, lobh, and 9 no kashai are present. But their intensity is so weak, that it is as good as not present. You have $1 million in your pocket. I have $1 million in my pocket, and you have $5 in your pocket. So according to my $1 million, you are a pauper. You are a poorest of a person. You have nothing basically. But your $5 will take you to the shop and you can buy the sandwich and fill your stomach. My $1 million will not be helpful to you. Same way, my intense mithyatva, intense wrong belief, and you have now teeny tiny rag and dvesh remaining. It is as good as not having anything. And that's why we can say that from eternal soul's perspective, you are not binding any karma. But the Karnani Yoga, the mathematics principles, it will say, wait a second, that teeny tiny karma bondage still remaining with that person, he will bind the karma. Yeah, he will bind, but it's just so little, as good as nothing. So, two ways you can look at it. Fourth Gunsthanak person does not bind karma. It is called from the eternal soul's perspective. But in the modal state, fourth, fifth, and sixth spiritual development state, according to his own stage, will be binding karma. However, small amount, but will be bonded. So both ways we have to know it. Right? So now we are coming to Sukla Dhyan, supreme concentration, when soul is engrossed within. Then what happens? There are also four types are there. Prathakva Vitarka. Sometimes these names are tongue twister. So I have to be very careful also pronouncing. Prathakatva Vitarka means to meditate on different objects with the help of scriptural knowledge, means Sutagnan with mind, speech, and body, and it is present in the spiritual development state 8 to 11. Now remember, time between 8 to 11 Gunsthana is so short, it's called Antarmuhurt. Antarmuhurt. Antarmuhurt means intra-Indian hour, means less than 48 minutes. Means it could be fraction of second, maybe 1 second, maybe 5 seconds, maybe 30 seconds, maybe 40, maybe 47.9999 seconds. Up to that, that is the lasting, that's Gunthanak from 8 to 11 lasts for that shorter time. And in that time, the soul will be meditating on different objects with the help of his Sutagnan, with the mind, speech, and body he will have. But this is so rapid, so going so fast, but it's there. That's the first part of a Sukla Dhyan. Second one is Ekatva Vitarka. This was meditating on different object. It's meditate on one object only, with only mind or speech or body, means only with one yoga only. Out of 3 yoga, he is going to be using only one yoga. Here, he was thinking different objects, and with all speech, mind, body, all 3 together, here meditating on one subject, one object only, with only either mind or speech or body, and it is present in the spiritual development stage number 12. Then comes Sukshma Kriya Pratipatin, pure concentration of subtle activity. The mind and speech and gross body forms are absent. Only subtle form of physical body activity like breathing, shallow breathing is perceived. And in this stage, omniscience knowledge is present. Soul is trying to give up all the yoga activity and ready to enter 14th spiritual development state. In the 13th spiritual state, now slowly he is giving up his mind, speech, and gross body, and only breathing part that he has control on it. And this soul is slowly giving it up, that one also, and enters 14th spiritual development state. And Vyuparata Kriya Nivratti means no activity, no yoga, no activity, all activity have ceased. This is spiritual development stage 14, and now the soul goes to Siddhasila and stays there for time infinite in absolute bliss and complete omniscience knowledge. These are the things occurs from 8 spiritual development state onwards in which soul is already engrossed within. Soul is now going to become omniscient, and soul is going to get liberated as soon as physical body gets separated. So this kind of Shukla Dhyan is there, supreme concentration. If one wants to know more about it, you can go through different scriptures and everything, but it will only occur after 8 spiritual development states. So am I ready to go on the 8 spiritual development state right now? Yes, then I'm going to experience all these 4 things, 4 subparts of this supreme concentration. So in general, we have pretty good idea what concentration means, what is the word meditation means. And when somebody says, you meditate, you must do meditation, they have no concept what they are talking about. There is nothing wrong doing what people are doing or what we are also doing first thing in the morning. But
Kirit, I mean, I don't want to be the dead horse, but so then meditation is also Artha Dhyan, correct?
yes, in the first Gurthanak, yes. So it's part of the Artha Dhyan, yeah. So are you concentrating? Yeah. On what? Because you have not experienced your eternal soul substance, means you do not have supersensuous bliss. So all your worldly activities performed through the sensual activity, means 5 senses and mind. Through the medium of 5 senses and mind, you are gathering the knowledge. Remember, when you are doing, let's say that I'm enjoying a movie, how many senses are working at a given time? At a given time, only 1 sense is working. Rest of the 4 senses and the mind will be sitting in the back, in the dormant state. When I'm listening, I'm not seeing. When I'm seeing, I'm not listening. That's why you must have experienced when the movie with the subtitle, it just drives you nuts. Even though I can understand Hindi and English, what's wrong with me to just listen to the dialogue? But I will start reading those things. Oh, what did they make that sentence? How did they translate? That kind of thought process going on. And I'm missing out all the things, dialogues and all kind of things, because 1 sense works at a given time.
Your uncle?
Yeah.
All right, so we're doing Swadhay. I understand it's Artha Dhyan, but our mind is fixated on a particular topic.
Yeah.
So our attention and our senses are directed to this particular topic, which yields, I guess, the positive Artha Dhyan and the Shubha, right? Yeah. Now, here's my question. Like, I very much believe that meditation is very important, and I can't say that I've had very much success, but I know a lot of people who say they have had success. And so my question to you is this. I understand what we're doing here in Swadhay. I understand how we benefit in what we do and what we don't do as we're practicing this right now. What my question is, in Swadhay, our mind is anchored to a subject matter or to a text or to a set of thoughts that occupy our attention and our focus and our senses for a period of time, excluding all the other bad things that it could otherwise do. When people meditate, and when I say meditate, I don't mean Shukla Dhyan or Dharma Dhyan. I mean meditate as a first Gunstan Mityatvi will do. When people like that meditate, or let me say, forget about people, when I meditate like that, I don't have a particular subject to fixate my mind or my thoughts or my attention or my senses to. Then, so I'm sharing that with you. So then, like, it really is just a free flow of thoughts. Then isn't it fair to say that's just one big free flow of all 4 types of Artha Dhyan?
Yeah, but remember, Artha Dhyan can also have intensity, right? Negative intensity, positive intensity also. And what you or me are getting up in the morning and say, I'm the soul, I'm the pure soul, I'm the Gayak, I'm the all-knower, I'm the the physical body, everything is separate from me. That kind of recitation when I'm doing it. That means at least I'm preparing myself. I'm doing study of that subject so that next moment or next year or next life, when I get some darshan, then I know how I'm going to continue to progress further to stay away from the inauspicious inclinations and everything. So nothing gets wasted. But remember, here Gurudev keeps on saying, I'm not saying what you do is wrong. What he says, your belief has to be changed. You have to understand that where you are exactly right now. And as long as you know that part, then if you are doing meditation, quote unquote meditation, it is beneficial to you in your own way, because now your basis is becoming stronger and stronger every day. First day when you try to do, one time I went to Dharampur, and they had this sadhana bhakti thing, and I thought, wow, I was very good and I was concentrating. And after everything is over, Rakesh Bhai say that, okay, who had a problem with this concentration, so-called meditation? So one guy said, I had a problem. What was happening? Well, I was not able to concentrate at all. But did you do for a fraction of a second? Yeah, I may have done probably a few seconds here and there. Well, that's a beginning, that you are able to block your thought process for that a second or two or three. It will progress further. It will become 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You will be able to do the gross thought process blocking mechanism you will learn. So we are learning all these things. When I'm trying to concentrate the gross thought process, I'm trying to block it up. My subtle thought process is still there, which I'm not able to perceive also. So I'm just doing this study for all those things. So Arthra Dhyan is totally bad, bad, bad. I should not do it. Then what will you do? Everybody doing this Arthra Dhyan, no matter who that soul is. In the first Guntana, you are doing Arthra Dhyan day in and day out, every Samay. So should you do tomorrow morning or not? You should do it. Only thing you have to understand, this is part of the Arthra Dhyan. Till I get Samyak Darshan, this is not called Dharma Dhyan. So as long as I'm aware of it, that's all it requires. Your understanding is required. That you're where you are. That's why it says that you understand the whole thing. Once you understand this Dhyan situation right now, at least I know that I'm not going to get, okay, Ankit has not done anything, and look, I did the meditation for 1 hour. I'm better than you. No, I'm not better than you. I'm also in the Arthra Dhyan. You are also in the Arthra Dhyan. Maybe my intensity is less intense than your intensity. That's all it is. That's all we have to think about. So you have to do it, but not to take credit for it. That's all it is. Does that answer? That long-winded answer?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. So basically, we have, and as I said, Gurudev is very smart that he just passing by says Dhyan and then he just leaves it out. He just goes away. I mean, he doesn't give importance to that. Why he doesn't give importance? Because it's an individual thing. It is not like a mass thing that you can do meditation in mass about 10,000 people together. No, it's all up to you. And when you learn, when you understand the reality, when one understands the nature of the soul substance completely, then automatically he will drift on that side. As last week I gave the example of that Dr. Praveen Doshi. What is he doing? He said, well, if there's a truck is passing by, I just say, okay, truck passed by. That was the sound of the truck. That sound of the truck was perceived by my ears, and through my ears, my knowledge mode perceived that one. And my knowledge mode perceived in the divisional aspect. And that means it's a sensual knowledge. It's a knowledge of the alien objects. That knowledge perceived in the mode is that mode of the knowledge is coming from knowledge attribute, and the knowledge attribute coming from the all-knower soul substance. So that sound when I perceived means I have manifested my presence of my eternal soul substance. So eternal soul substance becomes primary and the truck noise becomes secondary. That kind of attitude we have to start creating right now when we do so-called meditation first thing in the morning or any time of the day or evening or night or whatever. So much about the Sukla Dhyan and so much about all the Dhyan that we talked about. Anybody else has any questions regarding this so far before we just go to the next slide? Okay, I guess we are okay. So
can you send this PowerPoint?
I'll send it out, okay? I'll send it out. Yeah. Okay, now faculty of impression means sanskar. This is, does it have lots of things? Let me just quickly, okay. This sanskar, what is sanskar? Faculty of impression means what is sanskar? Sanskar is a very important thing to understand also. And this, we use, we use this one very loosely in our daily life and everything. But till one gets right faith, he wanders in transmigration, including hell and lowest form of life. That's known. That's a known fact. Now, he may not get right faith, but if he has instilled faculty of impression, means sanskar, then at least in transmigration, he won't go to hell or lowest form of life. Now, what does it mean? I keep on transmigrating different realms of existence continuously since time infinite. If I instill the right impression on my mind about the reality, about the nature of the soul, about the tattva nirnay, means the absolute decision about the nature of the reality that I understood. I'm 5 sense sentient being. And Gurudev said that if you do 6 months of intense study of this scripture, at least 4 hours a day, for example, he says, then the faculty of impression will become somewhat solidified in your mind and will come with you in the next life. Wait a second, how can I have something go with me when other day we were talking about it, that when the soul goes from one life to other life, he has only karmic bondage with him and only that electric body with him, and that's it. There is nothing else. So where is this sanskar business coming from?
Yeah, but Kirit, this hope for sanskar is also nidan. It's artha dhyan, right?
Yeah, part of that, because remember, I have not till he may not have he may not have got right faith, means whatever it is artha dhyan. But remember, dhyan is a modification or mode coming from the conduct attribute. And knowledge is coming from the knowledge attribute. So here we are taking faculty of impression, we are talking knowledge mode right now. So knowledge mode with my matignan and sutagnan, with my perceptual knowledge and scriptural knowledge. When I work at it and study this scriptures regularly, understand and recite and keep it going, then that impression on my knowledge aspect will come with me in the next life. Because remember, soul is, yeah.
Okay, so you're saying that all 4 dhyans are modifications of the Charita Gun. Then dhyan is one of 11 taps. So then all 12 taps are all modifications of Charita Gun, correct?
Yes.
Including Swadhay.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
well, remember, there is a watershed, things are there, I mean, because you can just, during Swadhyay, I'm concentrating. Concentrating means I'm trying to engross within, and engrossing, quote unquote, engrossing is a part of the conduct attribute.
Okay,
So,
so like Vachana, Puchana, that's Charita Gun, but Anupreksha might be,
no,
that might be Gyan Gun.
Atma Prishna is a knowledge attribute, knowledge mode.
So then there is some Gyan Gun in Swadhyay.
Yeah, you can just say that. You can, because remember, it's everything is indivisible nature inside, and we are making artificial division to understand ourselves. So what we are making is art. It's a kind of watershed in that area, in the soul. But we are trying to make absolute compartmentalize. This is this knowledge only. This is conduct only. This is faith only. But inside, Samyak Darshan Jnan Charitrani Hi Moksha Margaha, unity of the soul, unity of the right faith, right knowledge, and right conduct itself is the path to salvation. So ultimately there is a unity is there, but we are trying to make artificial compartment for our understanding. Okay, so so this faculty of impression, what is happening? I have faculty of impression on my mind since time infinite, that body is mine, body is mine, body is mine, body is mine. That kind of faith I have it, that kind of knowledge I have, that kind of conduct I have it. Wrong knowledge, wrong conduct, wrong faith. Now, to remove, it is so sticking so solidly in my psyche inside, and to wash it away slowly, to make dent in that one. This faculty of impression will come in the picture. When I do intense swadhyaya and all the things, think about we all can think about it, how it is easy to fall down. You just work and work and work and work and work and work, come up to here, and one little episode comes in the life and you just fall down so quick, so fast. We all have that experience. Even though I know that this is wrong, I should not think about it, but it happens because my previous impression of mind, previous impression on faculty, that's what the reason that I need to crack that word. For that thing, I had to do intense swadhyay. So when I do that sanskar, at least in this transmigration, I won't go to the lowest form of life right now. Or maybe I won't go to hell also right now. Strong faculty of impression, like I am not auspicious inclination state. Hu shubh bhav rupe nathi. That's a strong faculty of impression I have to create. I'm not inclination of attachment. Hu rag rupe nathi. I'm not limited to modal state. Hu paryay swarupe nathi. I'm the eternal pure soul. Hu suddha swarup chu. First four, 1, 2, 3, 4, they are from negative perspective. I'm not, this three. So negative perspective. And the fourth one is from positive perspective. And this is the beauty of Jainism. Any fact given, always there'll be positive, negative, both will be included. I am a man is a positive aspect, but I'm not a woman from negative perspective. Means my manhood is made that much strong by saying that I'm not woman. So positive, negative is a very, very important concept. And as we said other day, that there are seven form of this dialectic relativism is there, which is not the topic right now. We won't go in. Shadvad, it just says Saptabhangi is there, but we are not going to touch that one right now because it's an entirely total separate subject and not in our discussion right now. But somewhere on the line it will come. So Then when I have this kind of strong faculty of impression made, I'm not auspicious, I'm not inclusive of attachment, I'm not limited to modal state, and I'm into this kind of faculty of impression when I do again and again and again and again and again, then in his life, next life will be higher form of transmigration. And not only higher form of transmigration, but this faculty of impression created right now will come in the next higher form of a transmigration, whatever that life could be. So what it says, and that's what I learned from Hemant Bhai Gandhi. He really has an absolute clarity of the subject. And what he said, that the faculty of impression occurring to me as a five-sense sentient being, that faculty of impression will continue as long as I'm in a five-sense sentient being life. Next life could be hell, heaven, human, or higher form of animals. So that faculty of impression will continue. And if
so that means no matter what it is, we'll take hell, we'll take heaven, we'll take Sangli Panchendriya. We just don't want to be a lower Dyän, correct?
Yeah, higher form of Dyän, or human, or hell, or heaven, and that means the five.
We'll take any of those. We'll take any of those, just not
any of them. Yeah, any of them. Now.
So you know what? That's a lot more hopeful.
Yep.
Those odds are a lot better than human or bust. Those odds are a lot better.
Well, you know what it is now. Remember, but the point that I'm driving at is Bensri Ben Champa Ben, she had faculty of impression, and she realized what was happening when she was in Mahavida Kshetra. At that time, she was a man. She was a friend of Gurudev. She was a son of a rich man, and Gurudev was a prince, Prince Fatehmand, and they were close friends. And her faculty of impression became so sharp that she already visualized previous lives and said, wait a second, yes, I remember that Gurudev was in Mahavida Kshetra. We used to go to the Samaysar of Simanda Swami. And one time, for 1 week, Kunkun Acharya Dev came from the Mahavida Kshetra, from the Bharat Kshetra. He was a very small in the stature compared to the height and body of the Mahavida Kshetra humans. That he was also called Elacharya, just like he was like a cardamom. The cardamom is small, so he was looking like that. So he was also called Ela. All those faculty of impression woke up because from Mahavida Kshetra, she has taken birth over here. So that faculty of impression continued with her over here. So as long as we continue as a five-sense sentient being in the next life, till we get Samyak Darshan and or higher form of our development, spiritual development, at least these things are coming with us, because this is knowledge, and knowledge is part of the knowledge and part of all the other attributes, and that faculty of impression remains in my knowledge, and it will help me to continue to go on the path of Samyak Darshan. That's why I could be in Narak right now, but my faculty of impression is with me, and I can continue my further progress, and I can also get Samyak Darshan in the hell also. So these are the things, faculty of impression, that we have to try to understand this fact. Time-wise, we are still okay. 8 minutes are there. Okay, all right, one more slide, I will take it. So example, and then the principle. A small earthen receptacle means a gado. In a Gujarati, when we can say gado, which everybody will know what gado means, the earthen pot. One puts some water, brand new ghado, you got it from market, and you put some, sprinkle some water, and it absorbs the water, and presence of water is not felt at all. What happened to that water I put it in? Nothing is seen. The wrong faith person instills the faculty of impression, sanskar. That inclination of attachment and reflective thoughts are not my true state. This kind of sanskar I'm putting it in. I am knowing due to my own innate state. That is also faculty of impression I'm putting on my mind. He won't go to infernal realm or lowest form of life if he has done that kind of thing. Just like the earthen pot, when you have given the water, water is being absorbed, water is there, same thing, all this faculty of impression I gave, it's sitting there, it is not seen in the form of samyak darshan or whatever, but at least it tells me that I won't go to infernal realm or any lowest form of life, means nigod. That's why Gurudev used to say, Tu marine door thais. Once you die, you will become an animal. Gurudev, why do you say that? And you know what? This thing, when I was a small kid, I used to go to Songar, I heard these sentences, and I said, how can a guru can tell me that I'm going to become an animal? I never realized those things for many, many years. Once I started reading, I said, my God, what a compassion this great person had it, that he told me that, listen, you are a born Jain, means you are not eating meat and everything. You are your eating habits are kind of very limited, vegetarian limited things. Plus, because of that thing, you also have milder nature. With those things, you have come to listen to my pravachan. That's what Gurudev says. Means Gurudev says, you came to listen to Jinwani. And because of that thing, you will never become, you will not go to hell or lowest form of life. Worst come to worst, if you don't continue your spiritual quest, maybe you'll go to higher form of animal, but you can't go lower than that. How much compassion this great soul had for us, that he says, you are in the right path. Continue your activity. Minimal, you have secured lowest, higher form of animal life. You won't go lower than that. So either you'll become human or higher form animal or heavenly life, and your quest will continue. So this is like earthen pot. And then more water is added and receptacle shows presence of water within. Slowly, this faculty of impressions becomes stronger and ultimately will lead to experiencing of innate state, samyak darshan. So whatever we do right now, we have to continue. We don't stop just because it's Arthra Dhyan. So I don't want to do meditation. No, you do it. In meditation, what are you doing? You are reflecting upon what you learned so far. You reflect upon. You just say, how is the knowledge formed? What is me? How many attributes do I have it? What does knowledge do? What does faith do? What does conduct do? Those kind of positive thinking you do in your so-called meditation, that is important. You are reciting, you're making those things become stronger impression on your mind. And that's why those activities are important. Going to temple, doing swadhyay, doing meditation, going puja and abhishek and everything, all those things are important. But again, where exactly it falls into the whole hierarchy, that also we should keep in mind and keep going. All right, any questions so far? Any question? We have an hour and a half. It is almost all past hour so far, so quick.
I'm good. Thank you, Uncle.
Okay. All right. Anybody else has any questions or anything? Yes?
Nice. Yeah, good, Kirit bhai.
Okay. All right. Then we can do the closing. Okay. या वाणी के ज्ञान से सूझे लो कालो, सो वाणी मस्तकन मो सदा देत हूँ धूम. 9 times Namo Kamattu. Jai Jirendra.
Jai Jirendra.
Thank you.